Okay, so again, my name is Brian Coyne, and I have a website called lifeandlovewords.com. 21 years of private revelations of a Baltimore woman named Charlotte Yenger, from God and from heaven to a Baltimore woman named Charlotte Yenger. Okay, in the last video, I was talking to you about these boxes that I found in the closet under the stairs of my old bedroom in Silver Spring, Maryland. And I'm going to show you those boxes right now. Okay, these are the old beat up boxes. They've got mold in them. Miss Charlotte kept her writings in Ziploc bags like this. Got a whole bunch of Ziploc bags. She used baggies. She kept on hand blank pieces of paper like this. They're kind of yellowed with time because these are from the 80s and 90s. Any kind of paper she could get her hands on. I can show you, prove to you that these boxes are from the 90s. See down there? 1990, what's that say? 9. Okay. Yeah, September 26, 1990. Charlotte died September 28th, 1994. So, these are pretty old boxes. Here's the other box. All right. She wasn't an alcoholic and she wasn't a drinker, but these are alcohol boxes, rum boxes. She probably got them across the street from the Box and Save. She lived on Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie, Maryland, also called Brooklyn, Maryland. She grew up in the Curtis Bay area. These are some more of the boxes that housed her writings. I've put all her writings in binders, which I'll show to you later in a later video. Again, here are some of her binders, some of her Ziploc bags. She basically organized all her conversations with God for 21 years in Ziploc bags. Thank God she thought to put them in Ziploc bags, because you can see there's water spills on some of these boxes. Some more binders. Okay, more binders. More bags. Now this is interesting. These are the paper clips that she used. Ow. Ooh, that hurts. These are the paper clips and the bobby pins and the seamstress pins and the old rubber bands that she used to organize all this stuff. And I took 3 years to, let's say, alphabetize them and to type them all up so that they're legible. Okay, that's enough of the boxes. Who was Miss Charlotte? Miss Charlotte was a Baltimore woman born in 1927. Charlotte Marie Jatschka was her full name. And sometime in the late 30s, early 40s, she married a Walter Yenger. And they resided in Curtis Bay area and then eventually 4910 Ritchie Highway, right across the street from the Lucky's Convenience Store, which has just recently been shut down. I know because she used to send me across the street when I was a little kid to get her groceries. She was handicapped by the hand of her own husband. Sometime in the early 70s, her husband, in a fit of rage, chased her up the cellar stairs into the kitchen and slammed the kitchen door on her body and crushed it against her, thus dislocating her right hip, breaking her hip bone. A few years later, she was confined to crutches. And a few years later, she had a hip replacement operation, which failed miserably. And she was a heavy-set woman to begin with, so she put on more weight. And then she was eventually confined to a wheelchair, to her bed, and to her house. And that's why kids like me and my brothers and sisters and a couple other Baltimore families would take turns hanging out with her and helping her out. And doing things for her around the house and doing her grocery shopping. That's pretty much the story of Miss Charlotte. She was a Catholic woman, and her greatest love was getting to Holy Mass. And because of her dislocated hip and her weight condition, and also other sicknesses which were brought on by a car accident she had in the 50s. She had ovarian cancer. She had injured intestines from this car accident. She had a scar on her forehead that always remained. She always covered it up with her hair like that. But because of her illness and because of her dislocated hip and her handicapped situation, she couldn't get to Mass. And believe it or not, the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Baltimore gave her special permission to have the Holy Eucharist installed into her living room, a regular supply of Holy Communion to give her communion every day. She could receive communion by herself every day, and she could pray that way and get real close to Jesus without going to Holy Mass. And this is around the time where we met her in 1980 and started taking care of her. And for years after that, whenever we'd go over to her house, she would always have a candle lit and an altar in her front living room, and we would genuflect just like we were in a church. And then we would move into her dining room area where she spent most of her time, and that's where her bed was. And we would look after her and take care of her. She was a lot of fun, so we would have a lot of fun with her. We'd play cards, we'd play different board games, watch vampire movies on TV, normal stuff like that, listen to music. But we'd pray the rosary every day with her, and then we'd have communion with her at the end of the night before, us kids would go to bed. So that's Miss Charlotte in a nutshell, but I haven't told you much about her special gift, which she started to receive in the early 70s, called locutions. So before I move on to my next short video, go to lifeandlovewords.com and you can take a look at some stories about her, see pictures of her. I'll show you a picture of her in the next video. You can get her full story, and you can also read some of the conversations she had with Jesus himself. Thank you very much.